koteekako obulabe. Abamu bafa, abalala ne bafuna obulabe. Naye tusaba minisitule y'ebyokwerinda etwale obuvunaanyizibwa obwo. Oweekitiibwa, embeera zaffe oziraba za bukadde, tuli mu kawungeezi, olaba bwe tubadde tutambula ne Haji wano. Era ne mikwano gyo bangi nnyo bafudde, nga Muzeeyisaa mu Kabonge, Ndugga Musaazi yandibadde ateeka ekimuli ku malaala ag'ekyemmanga, omusika wa Ndugga yatufaako, Namwandu Kisuze, omwami Mayega w'Eppukulu Embaale n'abalala. Tusaba akasente akatujjanjaba mu ofiisi oba oluusi nga tufudde kabeerenga kumpi. Waliwo ensente ezituyambako, era nsaba ne Palamenti ekitegeere nti abalwanyi ba Luweero batuyambako oluusi otujjanjaba, oluusi otuziika. Tusaba akasente ako kabeere kumpi. Era bwe muba musala bajeti ya State House mubagambe kyab'e Luweero nabo mubayambeko bwe bati, kuba tuli bakadde tetukyasobola sente za ddwaliro. Tusaba ffe tetulinaayo waffe mulala yenna okuggyako ggwe. Era tukusaba ogira okyatutwala mu maaso 2026 mpaka 2030, era tukulaba ng'okyasobola. Oweekitiibwa, tukulaba ng'okyasobola. Ate jo wamenye likoda, wayimiriridde wano essaawa 3 ng'oyogera. Ne ngamba wamma omusajja akyalina sitamina, omuyeekera tamala gagenda bw'atyo. Oweekitiibwa, kino kyakulabirako. Haji Sseddunga yaŋŋambye muwagizi wa ttiimu ya Manchester United y'e Bungereza, naye bagenda ne bakyusa kooki waabwe Ferguson nti akaddiye, naye Manchester bagikuba goolo 5-0. Twewala NRM okubeera nga Manchester United, batukube goolo 5-0 ng'ate kooki waffe akyasobola. Tusaba ogira okyatutambuza mpola mpola. Oweekitiibwa, bwe nali nga nambula abalwanyi baffe e Bunyolo, Abanyolo bangerera olugero luno ti ekigambo ky'omukulu mukalo, buli njala lwekuluma ng'ojjayo ng'olyako, naye ekigambo ky'omuwogo w'ebbeeyi w'ebbeeyi. Sebo, tusaba ne ku mmwanyi oba ne kaawa okyogereko. Ndowooza bannayuganda bakitwala ng'ensonga, kaawa tumunywe tufune internal market, tuleme kukaayanira butale bw'abazungu abatuwa conditions ze tutasobola. Ate ekirala, tukwebaza olw'amagezi amangu. Omukulembeze tasoberwa. Bakubuuza nti sebe emigaati girinnye nga naawe osirika nange binsobedde, kati tukole ki? Wibale kutugamba nti mulye muwogo, era naye tumuwa amannyo, tumukolako. Oweekitiibwa, twebaza ebitongole ebikuuma ddembe ebyateekateeka olunaku lw'abajulizi n'abagoberezi ba Kristo olw'okuteekateeka olunaku lw'abajulizi n'okulabirira abagenyi abangi bwe batyo abavudde ebweru wa Uganda ne bannayuganda. Ku luno ennamba yabadde mpitirivu nnyo. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala. Omanyi bwe muba mukuuma ne Kristo abeera waggulu nga naye ateddeko omukono gwe, wadde muba mutaddeyo ennyonyi, abapoliisi bayinza okulowooza b'amaanyi, naye Kristo abeerayo waggulu ng'abaprotectinga, n'omusaayi gw'abajulizi gubeerawo. Beeno jangu.
Sebo Kitiibwa Pulezidenti, abalala ne mutawuliriza kino nkiwa mukulembeze abalamuzi b'amatu. Bwe twali e Namboole wasuubiza aba historical akantu kaabwe, naye bankalakata ku mabega naninganga nze nabagamba wabagamba nti tuli malanja bayita tusinkane nina okutuusa tewalabanga. Ekyokubiri osinkana abageto, naye ffe twazza musango ki ate okutuleka awo n'otutuyita akantu kaabwe kabawe. Ekirala waliyo be yawummuza juuzi abawummula n'omukulu Kigongo nabo balumba ffe kubanga ofiisi yange mwe bayambalira n'ennyota nga ndaba ne bagenda Entebbe naye bagira bagamba ono adimini wange yabakolako mutubuuze bannaffe akaffe kajja ddi abange tukaddiye omusika teyeebaza ekirala mukama wange kyensembye nakyo ennaku zino enkulu buli disitulikiti zibeerengayo abaana baziyiye naye obuteeke Kampala ba disitulikiti bo tebaba na sente zisobola kuteeka mukolo wano we nayogera ku kyokulya emmere yatandika okukola ku mikolo naye bo sente tebazinyatalazemubawa kusobola kuteekateeka mikolo gyakujaguza lunaku nga luno
kale oyo Haji ebyo abimaliriza eyo nsonga nkulu nnyo Oweekitiibwa nga tumaliriza tutuusa okusaasira kwaffe gy'oli ne Paalamenti ya Uganda yonna olw'okufiirwako omugenzi yali Sipiika wa Uganda Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah era n'okukulisa abantu bo Omoro ne banna NRM mwenna olw'okuwangula akalulu ako. Abalonzi b'Omoro mwebale nnyo okutusangula amaziga munda ne kungulu. Ojjooka Oulanyah fata nnyayo ya muzeeyi. Follow the footsteps of your dad, your late father. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Kulwa Katonda n'ensi yange Haji Idrisa Sseddunga. Mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala tuwuliriza.
Our chief guest, I think that music was for Haj Idrisa Sseddunga, thanking him for that speech. Right Honorable Prime Minister, please allow me to invite the Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister, Honorable Alice Karamuzi Kaboyo, Minister of State, Luweero Triangle. This is her day. Honorable Minister, as you come, we would like to thank you so much for the work you are doing in Luweero Triangle. Now, Luweero Triangle is very much visible because we did not know what was in the archives. But what we have seen there, actually we are going to have the show of what is in the archives of NRA.
The Right Honorable Prime Minister, our chief guest today, the Right Honorable Prime Ministers, Honorable Ministers and Ministers of State, Vice Chairman of the Mighty Party, Honorable Members of Parliament, members of the Diplomatic Corps, district chairpersons, religious leaders, heroes and heroines, and war veterans, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Right Honorable Prime Minister, and all invited guests, I warmly welcome you to this great Heroes Day celebration. It is a great privilege for me to stand here today to honor the courage of Ugandans, both the departed and the living, who sacrificed their lives to positively shape the history of this nation. Uganda has made great strides towards socio-economic transformation and human development. However, the road has not been easy, given the long history of insecurity and socio-economic instability of the past. We therefore appreciate His Excellency the President for his great sacrifice and that of other gallant sons of Uganda, some of whom paid with ultimate price of blood to restore the political, social, and economic sanity in a country once haunted by bad leadership. Right Honorable Prime Minister, the theme of today's celebrations is commemorating our heroes and heroines, an opportunity to consolidate our efforts in securing Uganda. Tasks all of us as companions in the struggle to harmonize our aspirations and plans as we secure the future of our nation, Uganda. Right Honorable Prime Minister, people appreciate social recognition, appreciate the social recognition this government has continued to give them through several programs and interventions geared towards fighting the current common enemy, that is poverty. Through the guidance of His Excellency the President, I embarked on an exercise to visit and personally interact with our gallant veterans in their home states. This exercise is driven by good intentions to understand better the conditions of our people and what economic activities they can engage in to boost their livelihoods. A total of 80 families has so far been visited, and we pledge to reach more as we also lay strategies to make Rwenzori shine. Ladies and gentlemen, in the spirit of appreciating the historical contribution to peace and stability by our heroes, the Office of the Prime Minister continues to support civilian veterans and communities within Ruwero Triangle and Rwenzori. This current financial year, 2021-2022, the Office of the Prime Minister, through the Ministry of Ruwero Triangle, has paid a one-off gratuity known as a Kasimo to 6,848 civilian veterans, bringing the cumulative number paid to 91,766 people or veterans. Continuously engaged families of the civilian veterans to establish income-generating projects to boost their livelihoods. A total of 162 income-generating groups have therefore been appraised and supported through the Micro Projects Program. Established, trained, and supported a total of 218 parish community associations. This brings the total number of PCAs established since financial year 2017-2018 to 726 in Ruwero, Rwenzori, and Busoga sub-region. However, with the introduction of the parish development model, the ministry has embarked on an exercise to compile a comprehensive report of the supported parish community associations, which will be handed over to the parish development model secretariat for further management. The ministry has also procured iron sheets and handholds for distribution to vulnerable households and institutions. Right Honorable Prime Minister, in financial year 2022-2023, the ministry plans to implement the following: pay a one-off gratuity, the Casimo money, to 10,000 civilian veterans, extend support to 200 civilian veteran families, extend support to 200 civilian veteran families through income-generating projects to enhance household incomes, construct houses for selected civilian veteran families, construct some blocks of classrooms and semi-detached offices. Right Honorable Prime Minister, as you may be aware, one of our unresolved challenges is the delayed payment of the verified and documented war debts. However, as guided by His Excellency the President, discussions with all key stakeholders will be held to resolve this outstanding issue. More so, following my visit to the families of civilian veterans, I observed that most of our civilian veterans are of advanced age, and some of them are battling non-communicable diseases. Unfortunately, their illnesses require specialized care, which is not readily available in most of our district health centers. Arrangements are underway to hold discussions with the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs to ensure that our civilian veterans access medical services in the military hospitals. The veteran families visited have identified income-generating enterprises that they wish to engage in. However, the issue of rampant theft, like our Mzee Sedunga mentioned here, the rampant theft in villages has instilled a lot of fear and poor attitude towards investments. We will continue to work with the relevant authorities to address this issue in the affected areas. There is also a major issue of family divisions that has affected the ability of our veterans to leverage on the support from various government programs. The ministry will continue to organize and sensitize these families about financial literacy and formation of circles for onward access to support from the various government interventions. Ladies and gentlemen, I call upon everybody to emulate the heroism exhibited by our gallant Ugandans who dedicated their lives to secure the future of this nation. I thank you, Right Honorable Prime Minister, that despite your busy schedule, you have spared time to honor this day with your presence. I also wish to express my gratitude to the National Organizing Committee who have worked tirelessly to ensure the success of this Heroes Day. Abazira baffe besina bakutuukako ngenda kubatuukako nga mpita mu zooni zammwe nga bwe zaali ngenda kubayitako mwenani ngenda kubatuukako. The exhibition you saw here, there are the children of these veterans and their great and grandchildren. I thank you. I thank you for honoring this day. Thank you very much.
Right Honorable Prime Minister, this function is within the mandate of the Presidency. The Director of Ceremonies is the Honorable Minister for the Presidency, but today she is represented by Honorable Major General Jim Muhwezi, Minister for Security, who is also in the Presidency. Honorable Major General Jim Muhwezi was there in the bush with the President. If some of you have seen the pictures of those bush days and the early days of NRM, you must have seen Honorable Major General Jim Muhwezi when he was still younger, and I'm sure you would recognize him. You're most welcome, sir.
The Right Honorable Prime Minister of Uganda, representing His Excellency the President, the Right Honorable First Vice Chairman, NRM, the Right Honorable First Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Community Affairs, the Right Honorable Third Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Cabinet Ministers, Honorable Ministers of State, the heads of diplomatic corps, Honorable Members of Parliament, religious leaders, the war veterans present, our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. As you have heard, I'm standing in for Honorable Mile Babalanda, the Minister for Presidency, who is not around today. Today, the 9th of June 2022, Ugandans and their well-wishers of all color, creed, walks of life are collectively marking the 33rd Heroes Day. The theme for this year's celebration is commemorating our heroes and heroines, an opportunity to consolidate our efforts in securing Uganda. Just like the case was last year, these celebrations have been held in a strict observance of the COVID-19 standard operating procedures. As such, only a handful of guests have been invited to physically converge here at Kololo ceremonial grounds, while the bulk of our compatriots around the country and outside are following the events virtually through mass and social media channels. Certainly, over half of the current Ugandan population are below 33 years of age and may thus not be fully aware why we annually celebrate the 9th of June as Heroes Day. The short background to this historic day is that on the 1st of June 1989, Cabinet received and discussed the proposal to His Excellency the President by the people of Chikandwa in Ruwero District that the 9th of June be declared a Heroes' Day. The choice of the date was against the background that around that time, the Uganda National Liberation Army forces of the then government in power had captured and brutally murdered Edidanian Babumba Lutamaguzi for refusing to disclose the whereabouts of a small contingent of NRA fighters in Chikandwa village, Semuto, sub-county in Nakaseke district, who were hiding very close to his home. Many other people had lost their lives in a similar way during the guerrilla war that was intense in Ruwero Triangle for any assistance or even suspicion of any connection to the NRA freedom fighters. During the cabinet discussions, it was agreed that it was appropriate for Uganda to annually commemorate a National Heroes' Day in recognition of the Ugandans who had extraordinarily worked in furtherance of Uganda's common good, with some of the compatriots having paid the ultimate price of sacrificing their lives in the struggle to achieve national independence, peace, and democracy. Therefore, annual celebrations of our heroes is an opportunity for each of us individually to reflect upon what we can do to enhance the national good. The example of our heroes and heroines in this case helps to inspire us to the belief that anything is possible once we dedicate ourselves to an excellent service of our motherland, Uganda. The above short overview notwithstanding, permit me also at this juncture to extend my commendations to the National Organizing Committee for these colorful preparations. Before I conclude, I happen to hold the responsibility in the government, and we have heard Mr. Sedungas and the Minister for Ruwero and Rwenzori talking about theft in the cattle corridor. This matter has been reported to us and our sister ministries of internal affairs, and we are taking measures to make sure that this crime is curbed immediately. I would like also to congratulate the Ministry of Ruwero and Rwenzori for the exhibition of our veterans and their children, the great work they are doing to maintain themselves, but also support the economy of Uganda, as we have seen in the exhibition they have exhibited here. And I thank also the organizing committee for giving the veterans a platform when we commemorate the Heroes' Day to also give opportunity to the veterans, especially those who are, since they are still living, to inform government about what they see about their government and about their needs. I am aware that this is not a day for lengthy speeches, and I now have the pleasure to invite you, Right Honorable Prime Minister, to come and address the congregation and the nation. Thank you very much.
The first Vice Chairman of NRM, Alhaji Moses Chigongo, the first Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of East Africa, the third Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Ministers and Ministers of State, the Head of Diplomatic Corps, Members of Parliament, religious and traditional leaders, Head of Public Service, Permanent Secretaries, Presidential Advisors, Service Chiefs, UPDF High Command, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. Before I read the President's speech, allow me to inform Haji Idrissa Sedunga that I've taken note of all your concerns, and I will inform the head of state that you want to meet him. Nti obubbi bw'ente bususe, nti ate omusaba yeesimbeko 226, era byonna nja kubimubuulira nga bwe byeyogedde, ate njogere ne ku byakasiimo by'oyogedde. Let me now go to the speech. Countrymen, countrywomen, and the Bazukuru, greetings. I congratulate you all for reaching 41st Heroes Day celebrations. In my Matters Day speech of 3rd June 2022, I equated the heroism and valor of the 9 NRM supporters who were brutally hacked to death by Basilio Kero at Chikandwa to that of the Uganda Matters. The 9 heroes were Edidian Rutamaguzi, Nkangirwa Matayo, Sentongo, Sebastian, Gita, Chibuka, Chirumira Edirisa, Seboa, and Chibirige. Despite the threat of death, they declined to reveal the hideout of the NRM guerrilla unit under the command of Jack Muchungus. It was in honor of the memory and legacy of these patriots and many others that we declared 9th of June a Heroes Day. This year's celebration are being held are being held under the theme commemorating our heroes and heroines, an opportunity to consolidate our effort in securing Uganda. This is a befitting theme because it recognizes the sacrifices of our heroes and heroines, both living and dead, and challenges every Ugandan to shoulder the patriotic duty of securing the gains of our struggles. Following his visit to Uganda and the other parts of Africa in 1907, the Secretary of Colonies and former Prime Minister of Britain, Winston Churchill, wrote a book, My African Journey, 1908, in which he made the following observation. Uganda is the pearl. This foreigner, who had traversed many parts of the world, singled out Uganda as being the pearl, a lulu, a kula in Africa's crown and glory. However, by the time the NRM captured power in 1986, Uganda, the pearl, had been thrown into turmoil and destruction by bankrupt regimes and leaders. The Bible is clear in the Gospel of St. Matthew, chapter 7, verse 6. It is written, do not give what is holy to the dogs, nor cast your pearls before swine, lest they tremble them under their feet and turn and tear you in pieces. The New King James Version. Our struggles, starting with the student groups in the mid-1960s, following a mean coup in 1970, and in the war of 1979, and rigged elections in the 1980, in the war resistance of 1981 and 86, and in the period since 1986 to date, have been about recruiting Uganda from swine, that is pigs, devoid of the capacity to appreciate and keep what is valuable and precious. The NRM is the only political group that has made a correct diagnosis of Uganda's problems. How can you come up with the right cure without conducting a credible assessment of a patient? You would be dismissed as a quack doctor. Uganda endured quack political actors from 1962 to 1986. Mwalimu Nyerere described this period as Uganda's lost decade. The NRM identified 10 strategic bottlenecks to Uganda's social evolution from a pre-capitalistic society to a modern and prosperous country. They were: 1, ideological disorientation. That is, emphasizing the politics of identity, e.g., tribes, religion, gender, etc., instead of championing the people's interests. As a result, number 2 of the above, we ended up with a weak state. It was not possible to build an army, etc. Number 3, the underdevelopment of the human resource. No education for people and poor health. Number 4, poor infrastructure, For example, roads, railway, electricity, internet, piped water, telephones, etc., which cause high costs of doing business in an economy, which factor undermines the profitability of companies and discourages the private sector. Number 5, lack of industrialization and export of raw materials, which denies us the value of the final product, being donors to foreigners. Number 6, a small market that cannot guarantee our prosperity. Number 7, the underdeveloped service sector, e.g. tourism. Number 8, the underdevelopment of agriculture, subsistence agriculture, marine. Number 9, the mistake of fighting the private sector by Obote and Amin, and the present corrupt officials who delay investors asking for bribes. And finally, number 10, suppression of democracy, which denied our people a voice. Therefore, we must prioritize the creation of jobs and wealth for households. There are 4 sectors where households can focus to create jobs and wealth. The 4 sectors are commercial agriculture, industries, that is small or big, services, that's hotels, transport, professional services, shops, etc., and ICT, business process outsourcing. It is because of the determination of the NRM government to fight poverty and increase household incomes that we have now embarked on a parish development model, a new game changer that will increase production and productivity to put money in the pockets of our people. I want to call upon all leaders at all levels to embrace, support, and mobilize the population to take advantage of the funds government is sending to the parish. We are currently doing data collection. We are registering circles, and the registration is free of charge. We are opening up bank accounts for the circles. They are forming groups of enterprises, and their formation is free. Government has put in place 17 million at parish level for the year 2021-2022, and 100 million has been put in the budget of the year 2022-2023. The NRM leadership remains committed to principle number 2 of our 4 principles, which is Pan-Africanism. We cannot be satisfied with Uganda's small market of only 42 million people. This cannot guarantee our prosperity. This is why we support the integration of East Africa and African market of 1.2 billion people. A bigger market is good news for Uganda's surplus commodities. That is to say, sugar, maize, milk, cement, steel, etc. Finally, I want to use this occasion of Heroes Day to remind the African freedom fighters that our safety and security as a black race remains in jeopardy as long as we continue to glorify the small and weak African states. We must end the balkanization of the African people to guarantee their security and total liberation. I thank you all and wish you Happy Heroes Day celebrations. Thank you so much.
Right Honorable Prime Minister, we thank you. And I would like to take this opportunity to request you to allow us to show a 3-minute video. When you were inspecting the stalls, there was something that was not clear. And we have been requested to show it here so that all of us can see it. It is something to do with what happened in the Bush War, and particularly that day when there was that killing. They were not able to show it there, but I would like to show it now on our screens here. Just 3 minutes, Right Honorable. That is from the NRA Archives Office. Kati ffenna maaso ku lutimbe. Nze nkalaba wali. I don't know if you can see it there. People, can you tell us what is happening? Is it over? there is no volume, at least there must be some explanation. Okay, you come and explain.
Alaba Bukede TV ekiseera kino ekifaananyi kyobadde olaba ke katambi oba ebyafaayo ebyakuŋŋaanyiziddwa waliwo ekitongole mu UPDF kye baateekawo okukuŋŋaanya ebyafaayo byonna mu kusooka baategeka nga bagenda kuŋŋaanya ebyafaayo bya NRM okuviira ddala eruweero naye bwe twali wano gye buvuddeko ku mukolo ogwaliwo ne basaba nti wabeerewo okuŋŋaanya ebyafaayo nga bya Uganda byonna era ekyo kyasabibwa Bishop Lwere ye yasaba nti mu kifo ky'okuŋŋaanya ebyafaayo ebya NRM yokka bakuŋŋaanya ebyafaayo bya Uganda yonna. So banaffe akatambi ke babadde balaga nga kalimu ebyafaayo eby'abalwanyi naddala okuva mu ggombolola y'ekikandwa balaze balutamaguzi bamatayo kamya era n'abamu abafa kaakano katubuzeeyo ate eri mukadde waffe Felix Kulaije.
Allow me to recognize the following dignitaries that honored our occasion. We have His Excellency the Ambassador of Eritrea and the Dean of the Diplomatic Community. Please stand up for recognition, sir. We have His Excellency the High Commissioner of the United Republic of Tanzania. We have His Excellency the Ambassador of Algeria to Uganda. We have His Excellency the Ambassador of Japan to Uganda. They are standing. We have His Excellency the Ambassador of South Korea. His Excellency the Ambassador of South Africa. The High Commissioner of South Africa. His Excellency the Ambassador of Ethiopia. His Excellency the Ambassador of Burundi. His Excellency the Ambassador of Cuba. His Excellency the United Nations Resident Coordinator. The UNDP country representative. His Excellency the High Commissioner of Pakistan. The head of mission of Equatorial Guinea. The Ambassador of the Democratic Republic of Congo. The Honorary Consul of Eswatini. With those, Right Honorable Prime Minister, allow me to invite the Master of Ceremonies for the Chancery, Major General George Igumba, to come and carry through the medalists for today. General Igumba, sir.
The Right Honorable Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda, First Vice Chairman of the National Resistance Movement, Right Honorable First Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Community Affairs, Honorable Ministers present, Their Excellencies the Ambassadors and High Commissioners present, Honorable Members of Parliament present, their worships, the religious leaders, security service chiefs, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. At this occasion of commemorating national heroes of Uganda, His Excellency the President is pleased
to award medals to a number of deserving persons. And to do this presentation is your own Major General George Igumba, the Master of Ceremonies for the Chancery, as per Section 14(1) and 2 of the National Honors and Awards Act of 2001. Now, therefore, in accordance to Section 3, Part 2 of the National Honors and Awards Act of 2001, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda has approved the award of medals to 82 persons during the National Heroes Day celebrations. The medals are Category 1 under Civilian Military Decorations, the National Independence Medal, and the Naluvale Medal. Category 2, Military Decorations, the Damu Medal, and the Royal Triangle Medal. And Category 3, Police Decorations, the Long Service Gold Medal, 30 years plus, the Long Service Silver Medal, 20 years plus, and the Honorary Service Medal. The names of the 82 awardees were duly considered by the Presidential Awards Committee and have been grouped in 3 distinct categories as follows. Civilian military decorations, the National Independence Medal, 34 persons, the Naluvale Medal, 17 persons, military decorations, the Dam Medal, 5 persons, the Royal Triangle Medal, 18 persons. Police decorations, the Long Service Gold Medal, 30 years plus, 4 persons, the Long Service Silver, 20 years plus, 2 persons, and last but not least, the Honorary Service Medal with 2 persons. Now, the award of the National Independence Medal. This medal is awarded to all activists who championed and contributed significantly to the struggle for independence and those who have continued to protect the independence of Uganda. The 34 persons are Dr. Jesudas Mwanje, who was born in 1949. At one time, he was part of the committee that came up with the National Honors and Awards Regulations and the simplified framework for identifying exemplary achievers. He was an accomplished and committed Presidential Awards Committee member who eloquently deliberated on all matters related to national honors and awards. He is a consultant and a researcher on weapons and specialized arms. He verifies brands of weapons for their functionality and reliability and has been appreciated for his dedication in this area. UPDF has depended on him for very highly classified information to date. The second on this list is Odukan Ochan Achani Mary, who was born way back in 1861 and started her career as a marketing officer within then Uganda Airlines Corporation until 1980. She has taken part in several consultancies which include inquiry into the effectiveness of law, policies and processes of land acquisition, land administration, land management, and land registration in Uganda. She is currently a development and social science consultant and an active member of Watoto Church, a deacon and a counselor to young people. The third on the list is Kakira Joel, a male adult of 52 years. He's a businessman, an entrepreneur, and a philanthropist. He donated land to government in 2018 for building Mavere Health Center 3 in Shema district. He supports over 20 children with tuition fees and has been supporting Chum Primary School in Shema with scholastic materials for the candidate classes for the last 4 years. He has continuously enrolled orphaned and the needy children in schools where he can support and monitor them. The fourth is Mr. Jemba Harold Michael, who was born in 1961, is being honored for long service. He served in the civil service in various ministries for over 30 years and retired honorably at the rank of Principal Assistant Secretary. He served